Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam, and in this video I'm going to be walking around Flowerwood Nursery in southern Alabama, just showing you some different plants, just bouncing around some shade houses and showing you lots of different things in this video. Most of the plants in this video I have single plant videos for, so I'm going to put the name on the screen for what it is, and if I've got a video for it, you can go and find a lot more information on it than I'll be sharing as I go from plant to plant to plant. If it's something that I don't have a video for, maybe I'll stop and spend a little more time on it. I'm going to shoot this, I'm going to use this exact same intro and divide this video into, ever how many I think is appropriate. I don't want these to be more than like maybe 10 minutes a piece. So at that point, I'll just keep breaking it down. So if you're watching part 2 or part 3 or whatever, this will be the exact same intro into it. So let's get started. Here's another big group of Carolina Sapphire, Arizona Cypress here. Beyond that, you can see all those white pots right there. Those are all proven winners, likely limelight hydrangeas, but they're I don't know, there's thousands and thousands of them in that block right there. After this is that nightlight CAMELLIA that I showed planting in a video, and they've actually pruned the tops of these, and I'm amazed. This is on the Gulf Coast, and usually these false cypress would not hold up very well down here. This variety is super heat tolerant. I'm really impressed with it. Even after they pruned it, I thought it would think it would burn quite a bit more than it has, but it just really hasn't. And here's a new crop of those Dragon Prince CRYPTOMERIA on the way. This is another plant. It's going to take a while probably to meet the demand. The initial demand for that plant is probably going to be very heavy. And this is that snow joey VIBURNUM, which I've covered. I don't know if I've actually put that video up. Maybe you'll see that video before, but if you haven't, it'll be coming at some point. But this is a nice spring flowering evergreen VIBURNUM that is probably make a great screening plant. But lots and lots of those in this block. So there's all those proven winners, hydrangeas right there. And then here's a group of LIGUSTRUM RECURVIFOLIUM. These are really fast growing screening plants. I've used them at my house. And then here's some COMPACTA hollies that have been tree formed, and I'm guessing these are going to go to a retailer during the Christmas season for Christmas. But these actually typically grow in more of a round ball, but they've tree formed them like that, or Christmas tree formed them, I guess was what we'll call it. They've cut them into these cone shapes, and there's a bunch of them. They just go on and on and on. But I'm guessing these will be at retailers during the Christmas season, so folks can decorate a live tree that then they can, plant in the ground. It's also super hardy. So I've jumped over to the big location. No, that was not the big location I was in. This is a green giant arborvitae right here that just keep going and going and going. 3-gallon, really beautiful ones. This is a newer planted crop of Chinese snowball bushes here, but they'll repeat bloom in the fall, which is what they're doing right there. And these look like they probably be pruned one more time in the spring before they're a finished crop, but it goes way up the line right there. And here's some soft touch hollies over here. These are always pretty popular, low growing, compact dwarf hollies. Up here, it looks like I got some golden Oaklands right there. I'll jump up here and take a look at those. Yeah, so here's some golden Oakland hollies. I showed you the upright Oakland holly earlier, and this has the super bright variegated version of it. Here's a bunch more of these COMPACTA hollies that have been turned into little Christmas trees for the Christmas sales. And then right across there, I think that's red diamond LOROPETALUM. It just keeps going and going right through there. I'm going to walk over here to these shade houses. It's getting too bright now to be outside, so I'll show you what's in those. It's kind of hard to put this place in scale. These houses over here are empty. They're just starting to put the plastic on them, and they'll pot things to overwinter in them. They just go on and on and on here. These are Chef Choice Rosemary that have been turned into little Christmas trees. That's super neat. This house is really crazy. It's another 150 feet out there in front of me, and it is all AGAPANTHUS. 100% AGAPANTHUS. I had several of these varieties. This is one called INDIGO right here, Indigo Princess. But they have, white varieties and purple and shades of lavender varieties. This is more Indigo Princess right here, but just amazing how many Agapanthus there are in this house right here. Here's another shade house, and beyond this row of these dwarf Japanese plum yews, right there are endless summer hydrangeas that just go all the way down to that end. These are, like I say, these are dwarf plum yews here that just kind of hug the ground. I've got several videos on my channel that have included these and using them in different ways. I always use these on landscape jobs and, you know, part shade conditions. What a great plant. Kind of slow growing. For nurserymen, this is can be a little bit of a frustrating plant. I've said that. It takes a long time to grow these. Probably down here on the Gulf Coast in the shade, they could probably get them done a little bit faster. Next to those yews, these are Alabama Beauty, Camellia sasanquas here. What a pretty plant. I have found that this one grows pretty quickly, and camellias just in general don't grow very fast, but this one puts on some growth pretty quickly. Nice. There's one of the flowers right there. These are fall blooming camellias. Those out there, outside of this shade house, going all the way down there, those are Nellie Stevens hollies that people use for screening plants right there. I'm going to go to another house. There's this, I don't know how wide this thing is. It is gigantic, but there's only, the scale that they're growing things on, there's only 3 or 4 varieties that are actually under here. There's a big group of Oakland hollies there. As you come across here, there's tons and tons of encore azaleas, just an ocean of encore azaleas out here. Leyland cypress bed right there. Then under here, I'll have to adjust the lighting when I go under this shade cloth. There's a quite a large collection of sunshine ligustrum back here. They had just been recently pruned, but look how showy this is under this shade cloth. These are full sun plants, but they've got them down here in a nursery setting in the under the shade cloth. But look how many that is and how beautiful that is right there. A lot more hydrangeas of all different kinds coming across here. And then beyond that is camellias. I'll walk up there to the camellias. Some of those should be blooming. We saw these Miss Scarlet ILLICIUM earlier. Here's some they're growing in 7-gallon containers. Again, that's a native. And then this is Camellia World here. These are all the October Magic camellias. Some are blooming already. Some are just budded up. It is that time of year when we start seeing these open up. Down here on the Gulf Coast, it's a little bit later. They need cool nights to kind of start triggering the flowers to open, but they have all the colors here. I'm shooting a video on these while I'm down here, just in a collection, so you'll be able to see that. But I think I'm doing about 9 or 10 varieties. All these new camellias are so nice with really dark green, compact growing plants that, you know, bloom like other camellias do, just like any other camellias do in the fall. But the foliage on them, look at this plant right here. Look how nice this plant is, regardless of, you know, whether it ever flowered or not. You know, that's an evergreen. You know, that's an evergreen shrub right there. It's absolutely loaded with flower buds right there that will start to open here in the fall. Like I say, back home in Raleigh, they probably get started pretty quickly here that the nights are cooler. Here's another group of sunshine ligustrum right there. And then this is that Dear Dolores hydrangea, which I've covered on the channel. This is also a repeat flowering one, and here it is in October. My shadow is going to get in the way of this, but you can see right here, they're still flowering, and they were at my house as well when I left. But this one just kind of keeps on going all season. You can see here sporadically, even here in the beginning of October, throughout this group, you know, they're still flowering even now. Here's some October Magic rose that have started throwing some flowers, but look, as soon as they do, they sell almost immediately. As soon as they start showing any color at all. I think this is another group of Alabama Beauty here. And like I say, as soon as you put them on the list and say, you know, that they're showing color, that group will disappear in a hurry. I'll show you a little further up here what I mean. You know, beyond this, they've already started pulling these. And look, big giant holes in them. As soon as you put them on the list and say, you know, flowers, then the garden centers, you know, order them and grab them and have them available for, you know, for folks to purchase. But yeah, these are Alabama Beauties right here. But yeah, you can see the big giant holes in here. Like I say, as soon as it says color on the list, boom, they're gone. I think I'll walk out the front here and show you a few more things, and then I'll go ahead and wrap this up. I can go on and on and on here. There's a Highway 10 runs right up here, and I'm still probably, I mean, if I had to guess, I'm over a half a mile from Highway 10, and this nursery goes all the way up there. All right, I feel like I'm back where I started. Another group of Obsession Nandinas over here, but down here are some MOJOO Pittosporum. This is a dwarf variegated Pittosporum. A pretty big group of these. These are great plants, and good in the park shade, and a little low doming evergreen shrub. It eventually flowers. It takes a few years on these dwarfs for them to start flowering, but they are fragrant flowers in the late winter or early spring. And then I'm gonna walk out over here. These are, I said earlier that I would probably run across some bigger sky pencil hollies, and sure enough, this is so bright out here now. There's a big group of them there. I showed some 1 gallons, you know, probably in the first video of this in the other nursery, and you can see them right here. And you can see, look how flat the tops are on these. These are all pruned, you know, mechanically. That's how they go about doing that. Here's some, looks like August Beauty gardenias right here. They've been pruned really, really tight. A few flowers on them down here. Super fragrant. This is a larger growing one. This one can get 5 or 6 feet tall over time. And here's some ones that they've allowed to grow out a little more right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. The sun is playing havoc now with this camera. So thank you very much for watching this Flowerwood nursery tour walk around. I didn't end up doing the whole big nursery up there. The sun came up so much that the camera nothing looks good anymore. Well, it just starts blowing out everything. So, but I don't know how many videos this is going to end up being cut into. So you're going to see this ending and that beginning on each of them. Probably at least 3 or 4 videos that this will be divided into. But I hope you enjoyed, you know, just walking around like this and seeing some different things in a nursery and how they may be, you know, the processes that they're using and the steps that, you know, they go through to finish a plant. Some of those pieces that you saw along the way there probably took as much as 3 years almost from a rooted cutting, or from, you know, from maybe even purchased from an outside source. Some of it was rooted in here. As I was walking around, they were taking lots of cuttings on things, and you know, they can, down here on the Gulf Coast, they can root things this late into the fall and winter very, very successfully. Up there where I'm at, where we have a little tougher winter, our best time to be propagating is in, you know, the early summer. So anyway, thank you very much for watching these videos.